What's up guys, today's video is on the top 3 best Xiaomi phones in 2024. Through extensive research and testing, I've put together a list of options that'll meet the needs of different types of buyers, so whether it's price, performance or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below which are updated for the best prices. Now let's get started. Number 3, Xiaomi Poco F5 Pro. One could argue that the Poco F5 Pro is a successor to last year's Poco F4 GT. However, there are a couple of key differences that set those two apart, and pricing is one of them. The Poco F5 Pro launches at a lower price than its supposed predecessor and offers a slightly lower tier of features. However, the goal remains the same, to deliver a near-flagship experience on the cheap. Even though it's rocking a chipset from last year, the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, it's still perfectly capable of handling everything on Play Store, and it's an improved version of the standard SD8 Gen 1. This potentially puts the F5 Pro in the affordable flagship category with an early bird price. The F5 Pro has some premium-like features that make it a balanced upper mid-ranger. It has a solid 5,160 mAh battery, up from 4,700 mAh on the F4 GT, and offers 67W fast wired and 30W wireless charging and an optically stabilized main camera. The device also sells with 256GB of internal storage as a standard, albeit with no microSD card slot. And last but not least, the F5 Pro offers an upgraded 1440p Plus panel with 1000 nits of peak brightness and HDR10 Plus Dolby Vision certifications for a modern multimedia viewing experience. The handset comes in a standard retail box containing all the usual user manuals, the appropriate 67W fast charger, and a USB-A to USB-C cable for data transfer and charging. Number 2, Xiaomi 13 Pro. You won't feel shortchanged with the Xiaomi 13 Pro's hardware. 350MP rear cameras is more than enough for anyone, as is the speedy 120W included charger, and the Galaxy S23 are beating battery life. Once again, it's sad to see such a good phone not go on sale to American customers. Xiaomi seems to have firmly settled on its basic design for its Pro phones, with the 13 Pro using a curved 6.7-inch display and a grid-like camera block on the back once again. The camera block has a slightly different flavor this time because of its rounded sides, which blend more smoothly into the back of the phone, which helps give the 13 series, including the 13 Pro, a bit of its own identity still. The Xiaomi 13 Pro offers a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate and a QHD resolution, much like other top Android phones. Comparing it to a Galaxy S23 Ultra with the Tetris Apple TV Plus trailer playing, the Xiaomi's colors were not quite as saturated, and it was not quite as bright at its maximum, but it's still a perfectly pretty flagship panel. The 13 Pro cameras are designed to impress with 350MP sensors on the back, covering main, ultra-wide and telephoto duties. The main camera deserves extra special attention since it contains a 1-inch sensor, the same size as some regular DSLR cameras. Xiaomi certainly didn't skimp on the 13 Pro's power. Running the show is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, with 12GB RAM and the option of 128GB or 256GB storage. That matches or beats what you get by default with rival Android phones. Compared to other similarly priced phones, the Xiaomi performs quite well. It beats the Galaxy S23 Ultra and its customized Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy chip, and the Tensor G2-powered Pixel 7 Pro on the Geekbench CPU benchmark. No doubt the 12GB default RAM helps against the Galaxy S23 series, as Samsung only provides 8GB in the basic models. Compared to other phones in its category and of its size, the Xiaomi 13 Pro doesn't offer quite as much battery space, featuring a 4,820 mAh cell rather than the more typical 5,000 mAh like you see in the Galaxy S23 Ultra or Pixel 7 Pro. Number 1, Xiaomi 14. The Xiaomi 14 shows that small phones don't need to have lesser specs, matching some of the best phones available today while measuring half an inch smaller. You'll struggle to buy it in the US. The Xiaomi 14 is a 6.36-inch handset, making it a little larger than the basic Galaxy S24, Pixel 8 or iPhone 15 Pro, but smaller than many other flagships like the 6.7-inch iPhone 15 Pro Max or the 6.8-inch Galaxy S24 Ultra. It barely qualifies as small enough for the best small phones, but it's still smaller than the average. Xiaomi claims the 14 is IP68 rated and uses Gorilla Glass Victus to protect the display. That's an older standard of toughened glass than the newer Victus 2 or latest Gorilla Armor Glass, but it should still be on par with the majority of Android flagship phones in terms of durability. You have a relatively limited color selection of black, white or jade green when picking out a Xiaomi 14 for yourself. All these colors do look good on the matte textured back glass of the phone though, with even the liveliest green option looking quite dignified. The display is an OLED unit with an adaptive 1 to 120 Hz refresh rate, just like other leading Android phones. It's a little unusual however in that it features 1.5K resolution, which sits between common FHD and QHD resolution standards. This means more detail on screen than other compact flagship phones, which tend to plump for FHD as a standard. The Xiaomi 14 has an impressive selection of cameras. All three of its rear cameras have 50MP sensors, covering main, ultra-wide and 3.2x telephoto duties. There's also a 32MP selfie camera on the front, rounding out a phone that's not short on megapixels. Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 sits within the Xiaomi 14, along with 12GB RAM across all models, the same chip as many rivals but higher than average memory for its size. For instance, the Galaxy S24 and Pixel 8 both use 8GB of RAM, which should translate to better multitasking on the Xiaomi. Inside the Xiaomi 14 is a 4610 mAh battery, which is a little larger than what you get in the Pixel 8 and several hundred mAh larger than the Galaxy S24's or the iPhone 15 Pro's cells. Thanks for watching. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe.